Right, so good evening and welcome to Cannon Fodder, the segment Easy Talk, the bite size. I say a bite size, but I've got a funny feeling with a full house here, it's going to be a feature length version. And you know what? We hadn't even gone live yet, and we've had like a big, massive debate about the elephant in the room. I'm not going to mention your names. I'll leave it up to the voice of reason. I'm talking about the voice of reason. Cole, how's it going? How's it going, bro?
Do you know what? Last night didn't go to plan, but do you know what? The tie ain't done yet. All we've got to do is score 2 goals at home, and we're very capable of doing that. So, yeah, looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah. We've got my brother Ralph, Raz. How's it going, Ralph?
Yeah, I'm well. I am.
You won't be by the time we're finished here.
I'm sorting out my shirts. I am.
And TC, welcome back, TC, from I'm Gonna Talk, a fantastic channel. You guys have got to follow this guy, even his podcast as well. Good podcast. TC, how's it going, man?
Thanks for having me, Alex. Thank you so much. Have you burnt your shirts yet?
No, not yet.
We haven't got that far yet.
No, not yet. But I've got the petrol.
Oh, okay. At least that's ready then. At least that.
And we've got Tops. Tops, finally, man. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good, bro. Obviously, I'm happy to make my debut on the channel. Thank you for having me and stuff. Back with my old boy Colin as well. A little reunion there. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be on the show as well, man. Thanks for having me on, and I'm sure we've got a lot to discuss today. Wicked.
So yeah, like I said in the offset, we've had a big debate before we've even went live, and what we wanted to talk about was that Rennes game with Arsenal. This team, they're 10th. They're like 10th in their own league. And I did like a little research, and they haven't done anything of any great stature. But against Arsenal, the Father Christmas of giving away goals and matches, they blew us away 3-1. So you know what? I'm going to bring in the voice of reason, Colin. Colin, what are your thoughts on the Rennes versus Arsenal game?
Mentality, Alex. I keep saying it, and every time I say this, right, I feel like a broken record. Like, this team, right, I'm sorry, but it's filled with fucking losers, man. Yeah, you got Mustafi, of all people, telling everyone to focus. Mate, you're at fault for our defensive blunders. Because you've either A, not read the situation, or B, lost a runner. Yet you have the balls to say focus. Fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. And why in God's name is the team pressing in the 89th minute when it's 2-1? Why? Zero game management. And people want to talk about, if we get in the top 4, well, we'll be back to our best. We'll be a Champions League team. Mate, you won't last. You'll be lucky if you get through the group stage with that mentality. Believe me, game management is key in the Champions League. And we were shocking at that before we got not bumped to the Europa League. Need I go over the 10-2s over the years? Nah. But then again, that's not the worst thing I seen last night. Yes, we shouldn't be pressing when it's 2-1. Yes, Mustafi shouldn't be telling people to focus. But one thing that pisses me off more than anything is the overreaction amongst the fan base saying that the tie is done. Come on. It's fucking Rennes, man, not Bayern Munich. Have a word. Have a fucking word. Again, mentality. Honestly, Alex, how many times have I said mentality is key on this channel?
Once too many times.
Exactly. I feel like a broken record at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, 3-1, not the best result. And if you're disappointed, fine, I get that. But don't tell me that the tie is done. We have an away goal. We scored two goals at home, which we're more than capable of doing. Fine, that's us through. Simple. And knowing our home form, we'll probably smoke them. But, I mean, okay, touch wood here. Touch wood.
I'm glad you added that bit in, Colin.
Yeah. I'm glad I did as well. But you know what, right? The mentality at this club is wrong. It just is. And it's not just the squad, it's the fan base as well. And I get, like I've said before, I feel like a broken record with this shit. I feel like a broken record because I can go on about mentality as many times as I want, but do you know, I'd be repeating the same shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, people want to talk about, oh, this team is like has got losers and that in it. Fine, I'm agreeing with you. I agree this team has losers, but this fan base has losers as well. And if you don't believe that, you are delusional. Because there are losers in this fan base. There are people in this fan base who, when you say anything bad about Mustafi, and do you know, I had this thought just yesterday as well. He's going to be the new Mesut Ozil in the sense that if you criticize him, you're biased. I mean, I've never heard anything as ludicrous as that in my life. So because I don't believe he's a good defender when he should be tracking Sarr's run, which he didn't do a few times last night, yet it's bias if I criticize him there, is it? Nah. He's an experienced centre half. He should be doing better than he is. He's absolutely useless. And Tops will tell you, I've been one of Mustafi's biggest defenders.
I know, Cole. We've had conversations about that. You know, you've been backing him to the hilt, and
exactly. Chig was on my case for years about it. Yeah, Tops knows what I'm on about.
Yeah, legit.
And now I've seen the light. He's useless.
TC.
Useless.
TC, what's your thoughts about the mentality and the game? You know, obviously, you know, Rennes blowing us away 3-1. But yeah, the match is not over. It's not over. But what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts about?
I agree that the tie is not over. It's not dead and buried. We can recruit this. We can come back and claw it back. Up until next Thursday, we can have our own reservations up until then. But let's wait and see how the second leg goes, of course. But in terms of the mentality, in the early years of Arsene Wenger, we had a winning mentality. It was fantastic. And I will tie it in to the fact that the culture at the club needs to change. By that, I mean, basically, you look at Ajax, right? I'm just using them as an example. Of course, they achieved something magnificent this week. The culture at their club is you win, but you win without spending any money, and you use the kids that come through the ranks. So that's part of their culture. And you've got teams that have a winning culture. They win at any cost. Another example, it's been reinstated at Man United recently under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As much as I hate saying that, that winning mentality has returned, but it's part of their culture. Man United are known to be the team that scores the last minute goals. They've been known to do so over the years, bar during Van Gaal and Mourinho's tenure at the club. Now is returned, and it's basically down to the mentality at the core of the club. And I believe individuals like Steve Bold don't help being at Arsenal. The mentality is poor. You observe Steve Bold, you don't get many shots during live games of someone like Steve Bold on the bench. Of course, I'm targeting Steve Bold as he's one of the remaining key figures from the Arsene Wenger era. And if you look at him whilst he's sitting on the bench, he's nothing like Caicedo, the new assistant. The new guy will be barking, he'll be shouting, and that's a different mentality. But if you've got people like Steve Bold at the core of everything, I'm sure Steve Bold is taking a lot of the training sessions. He's involved with the players, etc. He's with them every single day. If you've got someone like him with the mentality that I do believe that he has, it's never going to come through on the pitch. It's never, ever going to. Yesterday, I believe we conceded the game at halftime. Our players retired at halftime. They thought, well, we're 10 men down. It's 1-1. We're going to come back and we're going to concede a couple of goals and we'll go home. And I could sense it throughout the whole match that they had actually thrown in the towel, and they basically just slumped and dropped. You could just see the body language, and there was no communication, and the mentality is just poor, in my opinion. That's my piece on that. I don't know how it can be improved. Of course, there were changes made in the summer by bringing in a set of new people who came with EMERY. But the old guard need to go, completely go. That's my opinion in regards to the mentality.
Tops, what's your opinion?
Yeah, thinking about the game now and just how it panned out, we were so comfortable in that first half. I think the sending off changed the game. I did think Iwobi played very well. He was our main outlet, just that ball carrying skill he has. And I was surprised, to be honest with you, when Emery took him off in the second half, because I think that definitely took something away from our game, seeing as, Rennes didn't have to worry about that counter-attacking from us, because he was only Aubameyang, really, with that pace at the top of our field when we had 10 men. So I think just literally that second yellow card that Socrates had.
Sorry, Tops. Did you say that we had 10 men? I thought we had 9 men.
Oh, with Özil.
I didn't mention the name.
Very nice.
Oh, dear. That's it.
To be honest with you, you're not lying, because he was anonymous. Like, he didn't really do much, to be fair. And this is the debate we always have with Mesut Ozil. When people get on his back, when people say he's not consistent, when Emery is saying that he's not fixing him because of his consistency, it's because of games like this. When we need him away from home, he's not the difference. He had a glorious chance to equalise, to make it 2-2, and to get us a second away goal, and he fluffed his lines, and shortly after that, he was hooked off. So, in terms of his performance, when we need him, when the going gets tough, he's nowhere to be found, really, and you can't really blame Emery for not making him a vital part of his plans throughout the season, because he's not doing enough in an Arsenal shirt, let's be honest. But in terms of the game, I just think that sending off cost us, and like your man was saying there, I think at half time we just conceded that we were just going to concede a couple of goals and get out there with a 3-1 deficit, because let's be honest with you, the Rennes, to be fair, give credit to them, I thought they were brilliant in the second half. They were peppering our goal. Petr was making save after save, and it could have been more if they took their chances as well. So there's no complaints from me. They deserve to win the game. But in terms of what Colin was saying, this meltdown is doing my head in. Literally, some Arsenal fans are so reactionary. I've got to bring up a point. Like Aubameyang, yeah. I've seen, obviously, the last couple of games, he's not been his best. Missed the penalty. I thought he was poor yesterday. But I've heard fans say, we need to sell Aubameyang, or, oh, it's a waste of 60 million, or get rid of this guy. I'm like, geezer, this guy is our top scorer. Put some respect on his name. He's got 16 league goals, 2 behind the top scorer, Aguero, and he's had a couple of bad games, and now you want to sell him. It's just the definition of reactionary Arsenal fans. Literally, a guy has a couple of bad games and he's awful. He's rubbish. And it's like, come on, we complained about Giroud for about 5 years saying he's not a goal scorer. We've now got a goal scorer, and everybody's moaning, say, oh, he can't do anything else. Well, he's a striker. He's supposed to score his goals. And when he scored in the first North London derby and scored the penalty and scored that amazing equaliser, nobody was moaning saying that we need to sell him then. But when things are not going his way, you don't back him, and that's the problem with modern day football fans and Arsenal fans in general. As soon as the going gets tough, we've seen it with Iwobi as well. He has a couple of bad games or a couple of bad touches in the game. There's groans and moans, and it's like this guy, in my opinion, is one of our highlighted key players in this team because he's the only guy that can get past a couple of players going forward. He's the only one that is a man enough to beat a man and try and do something, try and create something, and has got the dribbling ability to do it. So you need to get behind these players. I just don't get this mentality of, as soon as someone has a stinker, we just bash them until they get out of the club. We just bash them until their confidence goes down. I mean, I've even seen the clip of, the fans booing the players in the airport and
that's awful.
Saying all these god awful things. This is not helping us. Like Colin was saying, it's half time in the tie. We can still win this tie if we get behind the players. We only have to win 2-0. It's not like games gone by or Champions League ties gone by where we're 5-1 down or we're 3-1 down at home and we need to win 3-0 away from home. We've got a home leg against Rennes, who are 10th. Yes, they beat us, but anyone can beat anyone on any given day. We know this in football. And if we turn up with our best players, we should beat them. And it's as simple as that. There's no need to panic. That's why I put a tweet out yesterday saying, look, I'm not even going to get stressed over it. It was a bad day at the office. Our away form's not great. But we've got another leg. We can easily win this tie and get through to the next round. Everyone just chill out. But people are just losing their minds like it's the end of the world, like we've lost the Champions League final. It's just ridiculous, man, honestly. But yeah, mate, in terms of the game, we can claw it back. I'm quite confident we can do it. Fingers crossed if we put a performance in, and hopefully we can do. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, mate.
Well,
by the way, Tops, did you see a couple of people wishing death on Mustafi?
Yeah, I've seen
joke, man, absolute joke.
Absolute disgrace, mate. Honestly, they're not Arsenal fans. I don't care how bad you don't rate Mustafi. You do not wish death or ill injury or anything on him. At the end of the day, he's our player. Nobody was saying that when he scored the second goal against Bate in the 3-0 win. This is what I'm saying. It's just reactionary. He has a good game. No one says anything. He has a bad game. Everyone slaughters him. We just need to get behind the players. Yes, they're going to have more bad games. We're going to lose more games this season, guaranteed. But we just got to get behind the manager and the players. And this process, we've talked with the previous manager taking us to the depths of hell last season. It's going to take time to rise us back up. So we've just got to be patient, guys. Honestly, that's all I say.
All right. So before I bring in Raz, there is a question for Colin from Ryan, Mr. Arsenal 89. And the question for you, Colin, is, if I can just quickly find it here. It said, who would you prefer, Mustafi or Sigan?
Oh my God. It's like asking what foot would you rather I blow off? Oh, Jesus Christ.
What a question.
I mean, can I work around it and just say neither of them? I mean, no, Ryan's a good lad and everything, right? But I cannot answer that. I can't answer that. I can't answer that because, again, like I've been saying, right? I've not seen, like TC was saying, there's the mentality at this club is poor. And to be honest with you, when you talk about Steve Bold and him going, I'd be all for that, right? Because, a good friend of mine in Tops, Cheg, he used to call Ivan Gazidis Ivan the Week, and a lot of people were praising Ivan towards the end of last season, right? But his biggest criticism was he's not doing his job correctly, right? Up until the old manager, I'm gonna have to put a fucking pound in the jar now. Jesus Christ! But the same level of criticism that Ivan got, you should be able to level at Steve Bold as well, because he's not doing his job correctly. Like, there was arguments that last season where, Steve Bold's not being allowed to do his job correctly. Well, he's being allowed to do that now, and he's clearly not doing it right. Because you look at the defending, Steve Bold was an absolute warrior as a player. And the defending I'm seeing, it's Sunday League, man. Sunday League level. I've seen under 11s defend better than that. Like, do you see under 11s pressing in the 89th minute when they're 2-1 up? No. No. If anything, they'd have a bit more common sense than that, or I would hope so. But this team, man, they're brain dead.
Cole, you know, my argument is just because he was a good defender in his day doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be a good coach to coach how to defend.
And there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there.
He should have gone when the old manager left.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, he doesn't. What does Steve Bold contribute? Genuine question.
He's awful to even look at on the bench. His body language is terrible.
Mate, I swear to God, bro. Do you know what he reminds me of? And I hate using this. As an example, but he reminds me of someone who is happy to take his wages and sit there like he doesn't give a fuck. That's what he is. He doesn't contribute to the setup at all. He doesn't. You see the new guy, Juan Carlos, yeah? He's on his feet the whole fucking time.
He's crazy.
You don't see him sitting down and be like, I don't give a fuck. You see him on his feet, barking orders. With Steve Bold, it's like, I know I've got a guaranteed wage, but I'll just sit on my arse and not give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, nah. Steve Bold should have left when the old manager left. Simple as that. But that's not the only thing. Like TC was going on about earlier, the culture of this club is wrong. Wrong. You see, Ajax, their culture is building youth up. Right? Look what they did to Real Madrid the other night. You see Man United, their culture, winning, but bringing youth up through the ranks as well. Look at the other night. You're telling me Solskjaer is not getting the best out of that squad? Of course he is. Of course he is. Sometimes the effect of managers kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. But what Solskjaer has done, and what I'll give him credit for, is he's gotten that team performing where they should be performing on a week-to-week basis. Unlike the last three managers in Moyes, Van Gaal, and Mourinho, right? With this club, we've been undermanaged for so long that Emery is having to almost overmanage the team because they're that fucking brain dead.
True.
Like, and to be honest, Emery is doing a fucking great job.
He is
with this side. I mean, look at what he's dealing with. Look at what he's dealing with. He's dealing with brain dead defenders who don't have one iota of common sense between them. You're dealing with a midfield from Granit Xhaka who gives the ball away every time, and more often than not, it leads to a goal. And funnily enough, the midfielder he bought, Torreira, who I've been banging on about since day one, has been our best midfielder this season by a mile. With Guendouzi being there or thereabouts. Yeah? He's okay, we've not seen much of Denis Suarez, but the attacking players, right, from Ozo, Mickey, Iwobi, and all the rest in between, Iwobi's been the best out of a lot of them because he actually tries and he takes men on. Aubameyang and Lacazette. Sure, Lacazette doesn't get the goals that Aubameyang does, but he works his bollocks off, man.
Yeah. Let me just bring in Raz. Well, what's your thoughts quickly on the Rennes and Arsenal game there?
Well, I think everyone's pretty much summed up the way that
There's nothing left to say.
and I'm feeling at the moment. I think Collins and TC hit the nail on the head about mentality. We could go back to all the videos we've done last year and maybe then some with fans' reactions about the mentality of the players. We know how it feels to go through a result, but we support the team on the pitch. And you'd think that there's some kind of responsibility as well as game management that when you're in a situation where you're playing away and it's going down south, you think, hang on now, guys, let's just come away with what we've got. We're 2-1 down, we're away. Let's bring them back to our manner, and then we can sort them out there. There doesn't seem to be that kind of mentality, that kind of strength or game management. The players, when Colin said that how we've got a crap load of players, yeah, we have. We've got a few jewels amongst them, but we've got players who have been there long enough to know how the team works.
Like who?
Well,
like who, for example?
Koscielny, he played, didn't he?
Yeah, Koscielny, yeah.
Right, and he's been captain for the longest time. Now, whether you're captain or you have that captaincy taken away from you for a better player, once you lose your captain, i.e. when something got sent off, you talk to your players. You say, hang on a minute now, guys, we're 10 men down. It's meant to be harder playing against 10 men than it is 11-11.
Yeah, but Koscielny, sorry to interrupt, but Koscielny, to me, has never struck me to be that kind of person where he will talk to the troops and try and organise them. He's not that kind of captain.
I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you got to stand up. It's not to say he's just coming to the club. He's been in the club, 10 plus years? At least. So he's been through times where he's given the ball when he led to a goal against Birmingham in the Carling Cup final. He's seen when players have their legs broken and we lost the Premiership. He's been around. He knows what it's about. He knows about the London Derby. So all those experiences must count for something. If after 10 years you've been in the job and you're still acting as if you don't know what's going on, he's got to go. He should have gone. Actually, he should have gone last season.
No, but if you're surrounded by how Colin describes the rest of the players, brain dead, right? How are you meant to relay your message? I can counter what you've just said about Koscielny by saying, since he started partnering with Socrates, we've seen a much improved pairing between the two.
Yeah.
And I believe those two are on the same wavelength. But if you've got it around you, it's difficult to get that message across.
Yeah, but TC, I think that's more down to Socrates, because I've seen Socrates many times shouting at Koscielny and the defenders. This is how you're supposed to be defending. Being very, very animated. That's been more down to Socrates, not so much down to Koscielny.
So you think it's more Socrates rather than Koscielny?
Absolutely.
100%. Socrates made Mustafi look half decent, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Socrates is...
Listen to this, okay? So Socrates made Koscielny better. As soon as he went yesterday, the next level of responsibility is down to you, defending. You say, right, okay, we've literally lost our main guy. We lost our captain. Let's just keep our shape. Let's hold possession. If it means we have to kick the ball off at their end 5 or 10 times, let them work it back to us. But we keep on playing. Let them have the ball, but let them try and break us down. It wasn't nothing like that from what I saw. It was all right, let's all go forward. Let's all go forward. I played Sunday League football for quite a few years, and I was always literally the last man on the line because I had it in me to have the speed that if there was a mistake, I can cover it. I was the last man.
But that's down to your mentality, wasn't it? That's
Sorry?
down to your mentality.
That's my mentality. But
Yeah.
I made sure that they heard me. Now, if I wasn't sent off, if I was sent off, the next level of responsibility fell to the other central defender. And they passed on, and they passed it to the midfielders. And everybody thought, right, as a unit, this is the way that we are. We just lost one man. Another man's probably gone injured. We've got a sub coming on. Game management. Let's just hold our shape. Let's get our discipline. These guys are on £50,000+ a week. And you can't be saying to me that they don't understand that. But the results shows it in itself. Now, that's the team. The manager, he can only do what he can do. The fans, on the other hand, the fans went in their numbers and they supported the team. Brilliant. But those who castigated the players at the airport, I've got no respect for them because you still got to support your players home and away. Result positive, result negative. We can all say here on this forum that they're brain dead and everything else. Whether they pick up Canon for the TV or not, that's neither here nor there. But you still got to back up your players because we've got another game on Sunday. And
we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Yeah.
And that's the thing, yeah. See on Sunday, right? I don't care about, Thursday, what happened on Thursday. I don't. As far as I'm concerned, no matter how I feel about any one of them, I'm going to be backing them to the hell.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I fucking hate Man United.
Yeah.
And I love this club. Yeah? And I do not want to go to, I don't want to have my family rip me to pieces because Arsenal are putting another brain dead performance at the Emirates. So, yeah, not having that, thank you.
No.
Sorry, chaps. Sorry, I have to be boring, but I've got to get ready for work.
Oh, yeah. Listen, TC, thanks for coming on. I'll leave the link to your channel, the podcast in the comments box. So again, whoever's watching, make sure you follow I'm Gonna Talk, and also topic is football. Again, I'll leave the link in the box. TC, have a good weekend, and we'll catch up.
See you guys, chaps.
All the best.
Right, yeah. So I want to go into the chat very quickly because there's been quite a few messages there from Ryan again. So just bear me a second. He says, I admit I did that last night. I think he's talking about the overreaction. At first, I took a breath and calmed down. I was more reasonable. Obviously, there are other fans still overreacting. What are the thoughts on Monchi now? He's left Roma. Does that open the possibility that he has come into Arsenal? And he's got one more. He says, yet tops, then them same fans want Ozil to stay. The irony. I'm not sure what he's saying about.
I think it's like the same fans that are cussing the other players are the same fans that will laud Mesut Ozil up just because he plays a good pass.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So so thankfully we've got out of the way now. So going forward now, we know we're going to be playing against the old enemy, which is Man United on Sunday, and I've got to hold my hand and say I actually wanted Mourinho to stay because he was damaging. They were going down. They were in free fall. Then lo and behold, they sacked Mourinho. I was thinking, no.
Yeah. He's off to Real Madrid now, by the
way. And now there has been a resurgence under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But however, the last time Man U did the double over us in the league was 1983-84, which is a long time ago. Tops, what's your thoughts on the up-and-coming match on Sunday against the old enemy?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, we have to make sure that we all are performing at the best of our ability. The work rate has to be off the chain. I'm glad that Lacazette is back because he from the front. He's someone that, he reminds you of like an Alexis Sanchez in terms of he leads by example. He's the one running past midfielders, running next to defenders to try to get the ball back. That intensity, that work rate level has to be driven throughout the whole team. And I think that's going to be key going to be able to Man United. But with Man United, what they always do at the Emirates, they sit back for a bit, then they create a chance, score a goal, and then it's just counter-attacking frenzy. We were seeing it in the FA Cup earlier in January. They scored there. They had that spell where they scored 2 goals, and then it was there for the pickings. They did it last season when we lost 3-1 as well. And we've just got to keep our concentration. Even if we go a goal down, it is imperative, it's key to keep it at 1-0. Do not make them go 2-0 up, because in the last 2 or 3 meetings, they've gone 2-0 up quickly. And after that, it's, we're chasing the game then. And literally, they can just play that counter football. Paul Pogba, who is going to be, blistering through our midfield, got the quality to pick out any kind of pass, we're going to be in trouble. So keep it tight. Need to get the first goal. And if Jesse Lingard celebrate it at my stadium.
Oh, I was just thinking that. I don't. Now that nonsense.
I lose my mind, honestly. In moonwalk, in Millie Rock, I cannot take him dancing again.
Nah.
Please, Jesus Christ. God, oh,
Colin. What's your thoughts, Colin, about Sunday's match?
Do you know what? I'm fairly confident.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't know why, to be honest. But thing is, I'm expecting Man United to be high on confidence, all right, given the other night, right? But thing is, I don't want to put too much stock in the injuries they have, because that doesn't mean shit when we play them.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I reckon we'll beat them. I reckon we will, because the thing is with Emery, he's looking at it and thinking, well, the league's probably the easier route to the Champions League, if we're honest.
Yeah, I think so.
And if you look at our form league-wise, everyone's hitting form at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's eerily similar to 14-15, where everyone hit form at the right time in the season. Walcott was banging goals in, and just when you thought it looked like we could have been out of the top 4, we galvanized and got there in the end. And I think that's a similar situation here. So I think we'll beat them. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, though. It'll be very close. But if we can just manage that opening half an hour, then that could decide the game. I don't know what players Man United have available. I would expect Lukaku to play.
I've seen earlier, Martial is back, and Herrera as well.
Right, so I'd expect Rashford to play as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's in too good form for them to not be playing. But they do have a defensive injury with Bailly at the back. I don't know what the other injuries they have at the back are, but it'll be tough, man. It'll be tough. But if we can get through that opening 30 minutes, we'll be fine.
Would you play Lacazette over Aubameyang?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would, because he works harder than Aubameyang does. That's not to say Aubameyang's not key to this team. We're going to need both of them if we're going to get into the Champions League. So one's just as important as the other. Exactly. Aubameyang's the highest scorer at this club at the moment, and Lacazette's the workhorse. So if Lacazette can just kind of create space in a sense, and then Aubameyang coming on for the last 20 minutes, tire them out. I think we can do it because right now they're 1 point above us. We've got a better goal difference, but I'd be a lot more comfortable if we beat them because I'd rather not go above them on goal difference and have our arses twitching. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we will beat them though, Alex. I really do.
Okay. Raz.
I think I'm still going to go back with the mentality. If we've got the mentality right and we just manage the game, we have to manage them. They're on this crest at the moment. They feel as if they can't do no wrong. And if they're feeling that way, and we can just literally just knock the confidence, and so that we start asking questions. I don't care if we take shots outside the box. I don't care if we have to be in their faces because we're at home. We have to be in their faces. That's the only way I feel that we can beat them. Because this run, I want this run to come at an end, and I want us to do it. I think we're way overdue something. So if we can just knock them, then, and like Colin says, I'd rather take 3 points than to just settle on goal difference. I want us to win this match. So last week I said the same thing, and we drew. We could have won it, but I'm still.
Thing is, though, Raz, right? We all know that was bullshit. We all know we should have won that game by.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Just going back on that, I don't know what is the loving with them down the road. They haven't won anything yet, so to speak. They may be just still in the Champions League, okay? They may be just above us, but the season ain't over yet. The cups ain't won yet. You understand me? And their manager is so blind because he got tactically shown by us how we exposed them twice. You understand me? And yet
he's the modern Arsene Wenger. I've said it all along. do you know what I mean? And I don't mean in the early years. I mean over the last 10.
Yeah.
I seen Liam Rosener on the debate, say that Tottenham or that Pochettino is performing a miracle at Tottenham. Yeah, I'm sure all of you seen that, and I'm simply there. I'm just sitting there thinking, so doing a Leeds is a miracle now, is it?
Exactly.
I've said this to Tops at least once.
Yeah,
they're a B-Tech Leeds.
B-Tech Leeds.
That's what they are. They are. They're elites. They don't achieve shit. They don't. And yet they get lauded by the media for whatever reason. All right, just because they've got a few English players in the side.
Exactly.
I hate to tell you, bar Harry Kane, most of them English players are average.
Yeah.
Dyer, safety player. Dele Alli, overrated. Danny Rose, dangerous fucker and a cunt.
Yeah. All right, so quickly, want to go back into the chat. There's a few more messages here. Another one from Ryan. I think he's just referring to Steve Ball. He says, "I've been saying this for weeks now, Colin. He's the only remaining factor of the old setup, and the one thing that don't change is our defense. Yeah, the defense is all over the place." I've got a message here from the English Conversation Company saying, Tops, what's happening to your channel? It's from the English Conversation Club. What's happening to your channel, Tops?
Yeah, man, it's gone on a bit of a hiatus at the minute. I've just been concentrating on other stuff at the minute. I mean, I might make a comeback. Never know. Never say never. But at the minute, it's out of commission for the time being. But I'm sure I'll be on this channel and other platforms as well. So you can look to see me on here more often. To be fair. Yeah,
we missed the dynamic duo, man. Tops and Colin, man. It was wicked. And
Mate,
then
we're it's like, do you know what? It's like getting the band back together.
It
Do you
is,
know what I mean?
yeah.
One last time, man. It is.
Do you know what, Tops? Yeah, we're gonna meet up on the 1st of April as well, right? Because I'll be at the Emirates for the Newcastle game. So,
I'll try and
bro,
get
we're doing
I will
that.
try and be there as well, Cole.
Yeah.
So the three of us will probably meet up,
sick.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the gang's all in the building.
And there's a couple more from Ryan. He says, City aside, every other top 6 side has come to us, and we have got to result against them,
There you
be
go.
it a draw or a win.
Mm.
Remind us, Colin, what is Potch a copy of? A B-Tech version of Leeds. Oh, dearie me.
I
my
may
goodness.
upset a few Tottenham fans with that, but I don't really care. I just don't. Like, the reason why I think he's overrated, yeah, is because when you look at the derby, and I mentioned this on Wednesday as well, Emery tactically done him a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not the first time it's happened. He did it at the Emirates as well.
Yeah.
Like, Pochettino was lost last weekend. Lost. Sarri has done him a new one.
Yeah.
Solskjaer has done him a new one. Solskjaer.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, if I'm looking at this, right? I mean, personally, I think Solskjaer should get the Man United job regardless, because
I agree.
I just do not see how you cannot give this man the job, because if getting Man United through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League when you're 2-0 down is not going to do it, nothing will.
Yeah.
Like,
I have to say though, I think Chelsea was in a similar way, weren't they? I'm trying to think of the name of the manager they got rid of.
Yeah.
When they got rid of him when they won the Champions League.
Di Matteo. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Thing is, though, Raz, right? Di Matteo was sort of sacked a bit unjustly because he was.
Oh yeah.
Because the team wasn't. Chelsea weren't playing bad at the time.
Mm.
They were top of the league.
Mm.
Like, Di Matteo was doing a damn good job. But the thing is, right? If I'm a Man United I'm touch wood here. If I'm in a Man United's position, I wouldn't want Pochettino at the club.
Mm.
Because from what I've seen the last 2 years, I've not seen anything from him that would instill that confidence of a winning mentality, if you know what I mean. You notice the stuff he comes out with. And this is before Dortmund, by the way.
Yeah.
He was talking about getting some help from the FA, and I'm just like, or Dortmund having more time to prepare. And I'm just sitting there thinking, you're 3-0 up, mate. Like, I mean, I'd be wondering what message that was sent to the players, if I'm honest.
Mm.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a winning mentality to me.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of lack of confidence, really.
It sounds more like he's making excuses.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what it reminded me of? It actually reminded me of last season where Wenger would constantly come up with excuses. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I just said his name. I do the job. Oh, God.
Before I finish this segment of Easy Talk, can I get a prediction, just going back, for the second leg against Rennes? Tops, second leg.
I think we're gonna beat him 2-0. I think we're gonna do it. I think even though Socrates is out and obviously we're gonna have to play Mustafi and Koscielny, I think we're just gonna have enough to keep them at bay and score the vital goals to go through. So I'm gonna predict 2-0, mate.
Okay, and the Man U match?
Man U game, tricky one. I mean, I would love to say that we're gonna win, but I just think Solskjaer's got this thing at the minute where they're just going to go through this period without losing. So I'm going to go for like a 2-2 draw. I think we're going to start off well, but evidently they've still got very good players, and with the likes of Martial back and Rashford and Lukaku and Pogba, I think that's going to cause us a bit of problems. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 score draw, mate.
Okay, and Raz, going back, Rennes' second leg, what's your prediction for that and the Man U match on Sunday?
Okay, if we can have the mentality back that when we beat Bate Boleslav and act professional, put them literally score early. I'm going to be a bit more optimistic. I think just to make sure that we put this team aside, 3-0 at home against Rennes. Trickier this bunch, but I'm still want us to knock them off their stride to show them that we do mean business. We've got nothing to lose. So I'm going to go for optimistic 2-0 win.
Okay, Colin, voice of reason.
We'll beat Rennes 4-0.
Wow.
I said the voice of reason, not over optimism.
I'll be honest, mate. That's with my heart more than my head. But I don't necessarily like. Okay, the 4-0 is more making a point that we will beat them, regardless of what the scoreline is. We will beat them. They're not. People acting like the tie is done, mate. That's foolish talk. Nah. We are going to beat Rennes, right? And people, like when we beat Bate, people will forget about the other week.
Exactly.
It won't even matter to them.
Yeah.
So I'm not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm concerned about Sar, I think it is, because I think he's a quality player. I mean, I know we're looking at Cengiz Under, but part of me wants Cengiz Under and Sar on either flank.
Yeah, that'd be decent.
Yeah,
that'd be dynamite, man. But Man United, I think we'll beat them. It won't be a high-scoring game. No. 2-1.
2-1.
To Arsenal, of course.
Okay.
What about you, Alex?
I think for the Rennes game, I think we'll beat them 3-0. The home advantage, I think we'll clear them out. The Man United match, I think it's going to be very, very close. I think it might be 1-0 to the Arsenal, of course. It's going to be a very, very tight game. Very, very tight game.
Yeah,
I think. Just a couple more comments in the chat. There's a good one here from Ryan. This is for Colin. He says, the drinks are on Colin against Newcastle. I take it he's going to be...
Whoa. Hold on. We didn't agree on that shit. Whoa, bro. Who your jets now?
Brilliant.
I mean, I'm all for a drink, but buying everyone? Nah, bro. Nah.
And then the last one is from Gunner Boys. He says Torreira and Aubameyang lost form. He thinks they need some rest.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that? I think Torreira doesn't look...
Well, Torreira's been one of our better players this season, but he's 22 and he's going to need a rest here and there. I do think that burnout is kind of a problem in the modern game, because we've seen that with Alexis Sanchez as well. We burnt him out too soon and his form dipped as a result. And I don't want that to happen to Torreira. I don't. So
we've got to protect him.
The suspension will actually do him some good.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's weird to say, but Mickey's injury did him good, and I think Torreira's suspension will do him good as well.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of a messed up kind of thought process, but it kind of makes sense in a roundabout way. With Lacazette, with Aubameyang, I don't think he's lost form. I just think that he's gutted about missing the penalty at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is. I don't think he's lost form. I think it's more to do with the fact that he knows that he could have been a hero in the derby.
Yeah,
He knows that, and he knows how much we love him as a fan base. He knows that.
Yeah.
Like, you've only got to go onto his social media to know that. So he takes it just as hard as we do, which is why all of us love him. But we've just got to support him as best we can. That's what we've got to do. I don't want to hear people criticizing him left and right, saying that, oh, waste of 60 million. Oh, he's shit. Oh, he's a Gabonese Jamie Vardy. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Get behind him.
Yeah.
He's our top scorer, and we are going to need him in the final run-in of the season. If we want top 4, we need Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Yeah.
So get behind the team and support your own.
All right, and there's just some more comments here. Ryan again says, Ben Arthur needs a smack.
Yeah.
I'll gladly slap him. Man's a cunt.
And then Gunner Boys is saying, please tell me, what does El Neni do? Tops.
Oh, boy. Dude, you handle this one. I'll send my piece on that.
As me and Colin would say in a wrestling term, I don't know what he does. He's in the food stands. I mean, was he even in the squad? I don't even know. I need to get rid of this guy. I mean,
he'll be out in the summer. He'll be out in the summer.
Oh, dear.
Did he not sign a contract, Raz? I thought he signed a contract to the summer.
I think he did, didn't he?
A long-term deal, bro. So,
jeez.
Get some more money for him. But yeah, we need to sell this guy, man. And just promote.
Yeah,
we got Maitland-Niles, we've got Smith Rowe as well. So yeah, I'd say root some youth players. To be honest, Willick.
All right, listen. I'm going to bring this, this laughter to an end. But before I do,
man's the grace.
I want to give a big shout out to Tops, man. It's good to see you on the channel finally, man.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me on. I've enjoyed it tonight, man. It's been great. I'm sure I'll be on there again soon enough. So yeah,
you will. And like Colin said as well, we like to keep things in perspective, have a little laugh and joke on the channel because there's just so much seriousness going on, in the fan base, all this foolishness, So thanks for coming on, and we're definitely going to have you back on again.
Yeah, cheers.
Raz, my brother Raz. Yep.
Yeah. That's one thing we were saying about Aubameyang. The best heroes, they go through hard times, you know what I mean? And then they rise up. So Aubameyang, just keep your head up, bro.
Yeah. And Colin, the voice of reason.
Yep.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Whoever's watching or going to watch this at a later date. Interesting. Like I say, Colin, he tells it like it is, So
I don't pull any punches. You know me, mate. I'm not gonna pull any punches. I don't give a fuck who likes it and who doesn't. I mean, you want to have a go, fine, but don't expect me to praise when it's not warranted. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. And as far as MUTCH FM goes, because I know you guys are eagerly awaiting the next one, it's in the works. All right. It's in the works. Signings have been made. Players have been booted. And we're about to start the season. So, yeah. And I'm not taking no bullshit. So, Mez Ozil, I'm looking at you, mate.
Colin, no! Yeah, we had nine men against Rennes. But anyway, that's going to be a story for another day. But anyhow, you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world, and we are out.